When I first came into the business, I really didn't understand what it is that we were really doing. When I came into the business, I thought it was all about just making money and trying to make as much money as possible. But what happened to me in my first month or two was I went out to see a client. That presentation wasn't the easiest presentation in the world. The husband was actually, like a foreman for a construction company, very rough guy. So while I was in the home, he was giving me every objection in the world. So because I did put a lot of preparation into my presentation, it didn't faze me. I just kind of got through and said the words. At the end, I actually thought that they weren't going to enroll. And, when they told me that they were going to enroll, I was actually really surprised. I knew that, since the wife was a stay-home mother and, the husband made six figures, that should something happen to, the breadwinner, the father, that family would be in the world of hurt. So because I knew that, what I did was really have conviction and passion in the words I said. So it kind of changed their mind from just thinking I was there to sell them to really opening up and listening to the words that I said. So by having love and care for the family and showing them that, it kind of really opened their mind to just receive the information that I was letting them know. And after receiving the information, they realized that, they did have that gap and they did need the coverage. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call and the wife was, very frantic on the phone. And, I asked her what was wrong. And she said that her husband passed away. That day I actually drove up to her home and, I took one step out of the car and she ran to my car and, she, grabbed me and hugged me and, cried on my shoulders for 10 minutes. And, she told me that, it was a blessing. And if it wasn't for me and, for AO, she doesn't know how she would, even pay for the funeral. She didn't know how she would keep her house. She didn't know how she'd keep her kids in school. And for me to see, how our benefits, relate to helping the client, really made me understand that I was really being selfish the whole time, only thinking about myself and money. And, I realized at that moment that what we're really here for is to help families and change lives. So from that moment, I made a commitment to myself that I was gonna, learn the script 100%. I was gonna put in a lot of practice and effort to give everybody, the best chance of enrolling to our benefits because, I really believe that these benefits are for everyone. And, everybody does need to get these benefits because I've seen it work. I guess what makes it easy for me to do is give the best presentation of my life because, I always feel like, they're gonna be gone tomorrow. So if I don't give that A+ standing ovation presentation right now, then, I kind of take responsibility that it's my fault if they don't enroll.